Hi guys, well it's been a while since I did a video. Tonight we're going to start off the 100 Days of Halloween Countdown with some scary stories. But these stories that I'm going to tell you is stories that really happened in my life. Nothing fake about it. Hand to God. My mother and father had raised 10 kids. This was 1977 when this happened, and I remember because I was 7 years old. I had been out all day long. It's a beautiful fall day, and I was riding my horse, Sunshine. Well, I started hurting real bad in my side, running up with a fever. Went home, cooled my horse down, and was still feeling real bad. Couldn't even eat supper that night when my dad had a good fire going because it was a cool fall night. And had the fireplace stoking beautiful flames. It just melted warmth in the whole room. Well, everybody ate supper. My side was still hurting. My dad tried to call the family doctor. He was out of town on vacation, so I had to wait till the next day for the doctor to be back in town, which would have been on a Monday. I remember my dad watching his TV shows, and this cat just scared the crap out of me. My dad watching his TV show, and they went off. I was still laying on the couch, and he's like, well, since your side's hurting, I'm not going to make you walk all the way up the stairs. Just go to sleep on the couch. Tomorrow morning we'll take you to see your doctor. I'm like, okay. Well, I remember I laid there and I fell asleep. And I heard the fire crackle really loud. Well, when I first looked up at it, I thought I saw a shadow. Well, me being a little girl, I'm afraid to even move. I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm looking, and the whole house is jet black. Everybody's in bed asleep. Lay back down, dozed off again. Heard that crackle again, but it's even louder. And when I looked up the second time, there was a piece of the wood had crackled so hard that it came out on the fireplace, out of the fireplace. I remember getting up and going, scooping it up and throwing it back in the fire, stoking the fire again. Went and got a glass of milk, and I was lactose intolerant, so my dad had to get goat's milk for me to drink. That's the only thing that didn't hurt my stomach. Well, I drank that milk, went back to bed, dozed off again, and the third time, this cat really freaked me out. The third time, I dozed off. I guess I was in a good sleep, and I heard a woman moaning. Well, in my sleep, I'm tossing and turning, thinking it, really don't know what it was. Thought it may have been the cats we had playing around making that sound. It was an old house, like I said. Never did I ever dream that it was haunted. I remember my brothers and sisters, prior up to this event happening to me, would come running downstairs screaming, telling my parents that they'd saw a lady in a white gown. My parents always brushed it off like, you didn't see anything. Well, yes they did. And for me to be 7 years old and see what my eyes saw, it's like it froze in my memory, and still to this day I can remember it like it just happened. During the tossing and turning, I didn't want to, admit that there was maybe something in our house. So I dozed back off again. Fourth time, I heard a loud bang, and when I opened my eyes, there was a lady literally stepped out of the fireplace. There's fire brewing in it. She had on a white gown, long red hair, but her eyes was solid white. and she was reaching her hands out like this, walking towards me. I was so scared I could not scream. I could not speak. I'm trying to pull the covers up over my face, and I was just literally froze, like I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And I just closed my eyes, and I was saying, she's not there, she's not there. And when I opened my eyes up, she was getting closer. And from what I can remember, it's like she was taking just tiny, tiny steps. Did you hear that? And I kept closing my eyes saying, she's not real, she's not real. And when I opened them up, the last time, she was reaching out to touch me. And I don't know how I did it, but I made my body move, and I jumped up off that couch, and I started screaming for my mom and dad. And I'm telling my dad, she's here. They seen the lady in white, she's here. She come out of the fireplace. Well, my dad comes running down, and he looks in the living room, turns all the lights on, and I'm telling my dad, there's somebody in this house. My dad's like, there's nobody in this house. Well, the way our house was set up, we walked in the front door, and mind you, it's the old two-story house. You walked in the front door, you went down this long hallway, and the first room to the right was our living room. On down the hallway, on the left, at the very end, was my parents' room. Then you had these stairs that kind of winded that went up to the second floor. And then there was 4 bedrooms on the top. While my brothers and sisters hear me scream, they all come running down the stairs. And I'm telling them, I saw the lady in white. My dad's like, no, you didn't. Well, my brother Billy, that had walked down those stairs, was standing there. He's like, who opened the front door? My dad's like, nobody's opened the front door. And he came to see for himself. Not only was the front door open, but there was muddy footprints from inside the house that came up on the steps from the outside, came in the house, walked into where I was at, and from the fireplace, looked like she was standing next to in the fireplace. And then it showed where she had walked out of the fireplace with black soot on her feet and had left tracks that she had walked back out that door. Well, the next day, I was terrified to go to sleep that night, so I slept at the foot of my mom and dad's bed. The next day, I got up and I was very, very bad sick. My mom and dad took me to the doctor. And I was telling the doctor what I had seen. He tried to tell my parents that I was delusional, that I was just seeing, my mom was playing tricks on me because my fever was so high, because I had infected kidneys. So they give me medicine and I go home. My parents just give me this medicine and it made you sleepy, and I remember that I just wanted to go outside and play. But I was terrified to go back in that living room. So the next day came along, and I remember that night I slept with my sisters. Next day I got up, I felt a little bit better. I told my mom I was feeling 100% better because I wanted to go outside and play. Well, we all had these woods that we used to go in, and there was a great big pond right out from our barn. Well, me and my little brother had got on my horse, and we decided to go find our other brothers and sisters that was up in the woods building a tree house. And it was about a mile away from the house. Well, it was right at getting dark. We went to look for them. The supper was almost ready, and I remember we went up there and told them that Mom and Dad said come home and eat supper. Well, they headed for the house, and me and my little brother was just taking our time getting back home because we was enjoying the fall air and looking at how the leaves were changing. On our way back, my brother had me glance down at that pond, and he said, "Sissy, make this horse run now." And I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Look down below you." next to the pond. So we was on this hill, and I'm looking down towards the pond. And from what it looked like, it was a lady standing there, with long red hair, and a white gown on. So I'm like, well, we'll just be quiet and make the horse walk easily. Maybe she won't see us. So we got the horse to go into a slow trot. The closer we got to that pond, the more visible she was. And my brother got so scared when he saw her. He's like, get this horse to go now. When he did, it got her attention, and she looked up at us. And when she looked up at us, her eyes were like they were glowing. I told the horse, let's go, and she started running faster. And then when we got right next to the barn where you could look back and see the pond, she was right there beside the barn. It's like just in the blink of our eyes, she was standing right there beside the barn, and she was going like this to us. We hurried up and got in the house. I tied my horse up to the banister on the front porch. Went in screaming, she's out there. That lady is outside. My dad went out there and looked. By then it was dark. There was nobody. She wasn't to be seen nowhere. That's one story I have to tell you. That's a light one. I've got thousands and thousands of ghost stories that have really happened in my family. Let me see how long this video is. No. See, if it's long enough, then we'll go ahead and be done with this one. But if it's not, I'll tell a second ghost story.